All right, we're going to start off this podcast on a somber note to Brian Dunbar, who passed away yesterday as we record this suddenly. I was shocked to hear about this news last night. And I never got to meet the man, but I've heard many stories about him. Maybe my co-host for this week, Matty G, can share one of his favorite moments of Mr. Dunbar.
Yeah, it was a shock to hear for sure. I saw a couple people changing their profile pictures to pictures with them, like with Dunbar, and was like, oh, maybe like, something like cool happened. And then you realize that I saw when Jason Grimes changed his picture. I'm like, all right, something bad like happened, like for sure. And the news I heard was not the one I wanted to hear. It was definitely a bummer. Dunbar came down to INS at like SDRC once. He pit with me, Joe Pillars, and the rest of like the one-up crew. And I remember going up for the 4-wheel modified like B main. He's like, well, you got to protect your turf and bump up. And I went out there and proceeded to suck. But I'll never forget, the words like protect your turf. Dunbar was in the same realm as Kinwald, like for sure. In the fact that they're always like putting in work, going above and beyond what they probably didn't need to do, but did it like anyway to, gain that like little bit more speed. Brian came from the era of where you had to really modify like your car or run shock shafts as hinge pins to kind of get the full 5-minute run of durability out there. So condolences to him and his family. It's definitely not something you want to hear. Yep. From the RC legend.
We lose another RC legend. Our condolences to his family, our RC family there at Hoosier. I know Eddie and his guys are very close to him as well. And you are in our thoughts. So there goes another legend, Brian Dunbar. May he rest in peace. All right, everybody, we are back, and joining me this week for the first ever INS race recap on the No Name RC podcast in his mansion there in SoCal, as you can see so eloquently decorated with his grand piano. And, nothing about that background looks fake at all. Mr. Matty G, what's up, dude?
What's going on? We're back.
Yeah, you are back. It seems like you're a very popular choice to be on this podcast. So it's good to have you back. It's been a while. You've been busy. You've been up to a lot of stuff. I've been up to a lot of stuff. You have a new position in life. Now you're a HobbyWing spec guru. And you've been busy with that, as well as training your 2 young Jedis, the Dyad, Levi, and Chase Raymond. I got the pleasure of meeting this past weekend. 2 weekends ago at the INS. Yep. So, yeah, maybe give us a quick synopsis of what you've been up to and how things are going at HobbyWing. They're also a sponsor of this, by the way.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, but definitely eating, if you can't tell. I look a little bigger than I did like last year.
That's good.
Eating. I'm no longer, no spleen, but that was a thing like last year, I think. Motors, and more motors. Mm-hmm. Lots of traveling. On-road stuff, oval stuff. We do it all now, so we're all over the place. My HobbyWing graciously gave me a job 2 years ago to help them develop their spec program, and I feel like it's been taken off. For sure. There's no longer just full. We no longer just have sponsored guys like running this stuff. We also have like customers, so it's really cool to see where this like took off from, where nobody really wanted to run our like spec motors, to now they're pretty popular.
Absolutely. I told you at INS, I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. You guys have jumped in head first into the spec game. I saw you and Charlie at the Florida Copper Champs last year. Then again, I saw you guys once again at the INS. You was racing mod and the twins were racing spec or stock. We just call it spec because I don't want to get into that whole argument of it being stock.
Well, it's like stockified at this point,
Spec mod. Can we call it that?
Spec mod.
So, yeah, good stuff. I'm happy to see that your racing has kind of gone to the back burner. It's not as important or anymore. It's more for testing purposes.
Yeah.
more for having fun. So you leave that to Bada, Davey Bada, your protege, and of course Dave is like the Jedi right now. He's like
Yeah,
young
he's kind
Jedi.
of figured it out.
He speaks very little. I think he said 5 words to me the entire week. And
What's crazy is he talks a decent amount. You just gotta,
when I don't know when he does that. But yeah, let's get on to business about her. A big shout out to all the sponsors that make this possible. This is the JConcepts INS15 Indoor Nationals Trackside Hobbies Race Recap, brought to you by obviously JConcepts, A-Main Hobbies, HobbyWing, Schumacher, Exalt, Associated, Reedy, Elite, and of course, Elite RC Productions brought you all the coverage. I hope you guys did enjoy that. If you want to go watch all the racing, you can go check it out. I'll leave links for that in the written description of this show. So, I have to just say big shout out to everybody there at Trackside. It's a beautiful facility. You never would ever in a million years, if you just you could drive across it a million times and never know what was going on inside of there on a weekend. How many people were crammed inside of there? It's very tight, but they get it done. And I really enjoyed myself up here at Trackside. I got to visit an iconic track with some great racing. I got indoctrinated into the L, but we can't talk about that. My name is forever etched on the wall, as well as Danny and
Lance,
as well as Lance's. So that was fun. Great community. I really enjoyed myself. I want to say a big shout out to Jamie, Larry, Gregory, everybody up there. LW4 who made me feel at home. Kyle, we're gonna talk about Kyle's win.
Yeah,
my assistant. The gingerbread man, and everybody that just made us feel home up there. We had a great time. I had a blast. I really do. I enjoyed the weather. I enjoyed going out in that cold. I didn't get sick. I was pumping vitamin C. I really enjoyed the racing. I thought it quintessential North Midwest winter 10 scale racing. I can see why they are producing a lot of fast 10 scale racers.
Yeah.
Simple as
You
that.
forgot to mention that they have popcorn. That is the best part of 8 a.m. popcorn. Surpasses any healthy breakfast you can have at Trackside. The popcorn, if you go there, make sure Larry or Greg, or he goes by Gregory now, is making some popcorn.
I think I got him to go by Gregory. I was like, you're going to be named Gregory. Yeah, the popcorn's great. LW4 made sure I had my fill of popcorn. I had a blast. It was very organized, very clean, lots of nooks and crannies. Good, just fun. I have fun.
Yeah.
Racer hobby shop, no ready to run stuff in there. It's all racing. They have great turnouts in the winter time. It was great to go up there and see a whole different part of RC. That's what I can say.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's one of the only rounds that does like legit like motor tech, so that's always cool. Makes everything legal and legit, as Richard Lake would say. So yeah, it's definitely one of the staple tracks like to attend if you've never been there before. This is my second time there. Last year I went and I'm like, God, it looks a lot bigger in the videos. And but I'm even saying that the track is awesome. Like the paint.
Yeah, it's a good track.
Just everything about it. Yeah.
It looks good. Let's talk about that. I talked about this extensively with my Aiden and Brock interviews, but the track was really good. A lot of people look at it and say it's a little bit small, but they had that triple to double jump was the thing that kind of made you pony up. That was what broke you.
For sure. That was the ruiner of a lot of runs, or it caused a lot of havoc, especially in stock. Like there was no, from watching all the stock guys compared to like the modified guys, like the stock guys were either full pin up to it or trying to double it. Because coming out of that corner, like there was a little bit of like a drop down. So if you hit that drop down and came up to the triple, you were shorting it. And then on, I believe it was Thursday and Friday for the first round of qualifying, like that jump had gotten so packed up that it like had this bump in it and it was making it super hard like to clear it. And Saturday morning, I guess it got fixed and no one was having a problem do it anymore.
Right. And it also gets dusty here.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it
No.
online.
I'm like, after every run, there's a considerable amount of dust on like the track, and you wouldn't think that there'd be that much like dust on it, but for whatever reason, like the dust is pretty high there. So the first minute or the first 3 minutes of like your run, it's pretty good grip, and then like the last two, it's kind of hard like to hang on to with like the dust like building up. So you have to stay in that line. And it's hard to see like with their dirt being so dark, it's kind of hard to see a line, but the whole groove, I would say, is pretty wide for like the most part.
Oh, that's fun. You say that because it's also a weird type of dust. It's not like a very light powdery dust. It's a thick, heavy, damp type of dust. It also has marbles from it as well that kind of go on the outside. And I talked to Aiden, and he says you can't see when you're on the driver's stand either the line. We'll bring up a picture here of the track, courtesy of JConcepts, so you can see this one. It's freshly been painted. It has concrete carvings, which I love. I love concrete carvings.
So much more grip. It's awesome. Like that. Coming off of like the straightaway on that double, if you hit that like concrete right, it felt like you were in Mario Kart, and it just kind of shot you like a little farther because it's got so much like more grip than like the dirt does. That it's just like. Whew.
So you're talking about right here, if you come off the double, that 180, guys were getting the two wheels up on there because it just had more grip?
Yeah.
Really?
It was sick. And then that pipe at the end of the straightaway there, I swear, kept jumping out in my B main. It for whatever reason decided to just go onto the straightaway and then come back out after. If anyone's watched, that was the end all to be all of my racing weekend.
That was the end of your racing for the weekend?
Yeah. Was that pipe.
Yeah, your racing wasn't nothing to ride home about.
No, exactly.
Last weekend. Very challenging track, though. Very small, very challenging. That like you said, that section, that triple to that double, separated a lot of people, and it wasn't easy, man. We saw a lot of races won there. We saw a lot of races lost there. We saw a lot of cars broken there as well. And I really like the corkscrew. It looks so cool when you guys to come up here and keep it as close as tight to the pipe as possible. You see some guys clip that pipe and go get a little bit. You see a car go really slow and just tip over really slow, or you see a car go really fast. Yeah. It's going to tip over, but it gets back under control. And you're just gunning it right onto the straightaway, right? You come onto the straightaway, you clip that little bit of concrete carbon, and then you're hitting that sweeper at the end of the straightaway. Yeah. Pretty fast. Very fast. So good layout, very fast, made for exciting racing. Mm-hmm. Which we did. We had a lot of exciting racing in both classes, in both the stock and all the classes, really, because how it's run at INS is the expert 17.5, 13.5, and mod 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive all get triple A mains. Mm-hmm. The expert mains and all the other mains have 2 bump ups, so 8 go through 2 bump up, which I love. And then in the mod mains, 10 go through and 1 bump up. I love it. I think electric racing should have bump ups for years. I love it. It makes things worth it. What do you think about having bump ups?
Well, I would have benefited for sure if there was 2 bump ups. But
you would have.
Like the bump up thing, I think it's good. It makes it exciting. The only problem is like when there's more than two bumps or more than 1 bump, it causes some havoc and some dirty driving for sure. There's some desperation out there. So I think like the 1 bump thing is good because it provides like, if you take out the guy in first, it potentially gives the guy in third or fourth a shot, like to get in there. So like the 1 bump, I think provides for a little cleaner like racing, especially if the guy out front has more pace and still makes a mistake, like he could still kind of gap like the field. Yeah.
I love it. I think I hate it when your race is over in the B final, right? I love that we have these bump ups. It comes from nitro racing. It gives people another chance. And I think we should have more races with it. So kudos to that. I know it kind of makes things a little bit weirder. We had some warm up races or practice for those mains. Yeah. But that's just for them to get some time on the track, because that 1 bumper up or that there's 2 people that bump up will actually get some more track time.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like it. All right, let's get on to some qualifiers. So qualifying was very exciting. We're going to focus on the expert and mod class, or let's get into the expert class, which is your specialty with your guys, the small people who are taller, bigger than you now, Levi and Chase.
Almost.
They're getting there. It was great to meet those young men. I know that I can tell them apart when they have a hat and just have a hat on. One has a hat, one doesn't have a hat. If we get after that, I'm not sure because they are identical. And Dominic Paccione, who dropping down from the mod class, coming out into that stock class, swinging with an R1, completely R1 car out. Now, there's some rumors. I don't know if you can confirm these. Or, if you can't confirm these, then you can just, I don't know, watermelon seed yourself out of it. Right? And just plead the fifth. But there's some rumors about a possible R1 car in the works. And with Tom now racing Coyote now, which I didn't know till I came to this race, Tom Rindernick, and Dominic Paccione dropping down from mod to stock, that shows me that R1's obviously looking at the stock world seriously.
Yeah.
As they always have. And I don't know, maybe there's some smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Maybe there's some fire about these rumors about a possible R1 car coming out. I mean, I don't know if you can say anything about that, though.
Yeah. Steve seems to be really into, they just got their like CNC like machines up and going. They seem to be really into doing that from what I talked to him like last time. I saw him at the touring car worlds. And when talking to him, he was showing me like some of the he brought some of the titanium like dog bones for like the B7 and was super excited about those. So who knows, with all that machine stuff that they have in there, having Thad like Garner there, who was an engineer for Team Associated and for I believe HPI, could potentially bring some stuff going on.
I heard they have everything where they can make a lot of CNC stuff.
They can.
Right there in house. So to be honest, there is space for another couple chassis manufacturers in 10 scale right now.
Well, yeah, with with X-Ray and Schumacher kind of taking up some of like the load from
TLR.
Yeah.
There's space for another brand to come in. Who is it gonna be? Is it gonna be SRX? Is it gonna be Mugen? Is it gonna be somebody like PR? Will we see specialty one-off cars?
The Mugen car is actually really good for the few drivers that I've seen like run it. Frankie Contreras came down to the Top Gun shootout, and he barely races like 10 scale like these days, and his stuff looks pretty dialed. There's a kid out at Hobby Action like Aiden Say who recently switched over like to Mugen, and his stuff looks pretty good. So it's they just need a team.
Yeah, and they need a 4-wheel drive, right? They need a 4-wheel drive. All right, let's get back to 2-wheel drive, stock 17.5. So Dominic comes out, takes Q1. I'm like, ooh, I was shocked. Very shocked. He was very fast. Q1, super fast. And just straight out of the gate. Q2, he came second. I believe it was, let's see, was it Chase or?
It was Levi.
Levi took it. So we had a good race going into A3. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he just made mistakes. And these two were kind of hounding him. Wasn't Chase and Levi kind of going after each other in 2-wheel drive A3? Sorry, Q3?
In Q3, they were both going at it. I think Chase had the lead, or Chase got the last round like TQ, and Levi had it, and then he made a bobble. Yes. Chase just kind of walked away in like the last round of qualifying. And then it gave Dominic the overall because he had the best overall time and points, I believe.
Right, because you said something. Had this been IFMAR style or 2 days later, things would have been different. Would that have affected that as well?
Yeah. So Levi would have gotten the TQ if it would have been like an IFMAR like tiebreaker.
Well, I mean, those two took the last two, so it was exciting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But Dominic kind of just, I've seen him before at Masters. I know he ran mod. I know he's from up in Colorado area. I think he might have raced under Dustin Evans, he said.
Yeah, he's from the Colorado area, but he now lives in Utah.
Okay. All right. So let me just bring up my overalls here for 14.5. So we had Dominic, Levi. I'm sorry, that's 4-wheel drive. 1 second. I am bringing up Expert 2 Drive. So we had Dominic, Levi, Chase, Kyle Go on the promotion tires, Nate Sutherland on that Schumacher car in 5th. Sammy Moran quietly in 6th. Sammy had a quiet weekend all weekend.
Yeah.
He kind of was just putting around. I don't think he was ever a threat at all weekend. No offense, Sammy.
In 4-wheel drive, he had a couple good rounds.
Yeah, but nothing to write home about, unfortunately. Craig Schlegel, who I believe is a local from
Sprague.
Noah Ward, I believe is a local. Emerson Sargent, who's from Hobbyplex.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Mitchell, that was the final bumper upper, I guess. Oh, did he get in?
Yeah.
No, that's just qual point. So he didn't get in. The two had to get in. Let's see who got in.
It was Talon and
right. So that's who surprised me. Talon being in the B main. Thoughts on that? Coming out very strong after the clash to be in the B main here was probably not what he wanted.
Yeah, I talked to him a bit like last night about just kind of some racing stuff. Like racing at Hoosier is definitely more unique, I would say, because like the tires already make grip and you're just, it's like racing on road. You're just getting the setup and driving good. When going to trackside on these natural dirt-like surfaces where the tire has to make some friction to make grip, it's hard to, you can't drive it at 110 like percent. You have to like let the car like ease into like the corner. You can't overdrive it or else the tire breaks loose. So it's just like when I talked to him, he's like, dude, I went and practiced and I felt like I didn't learn much. And I'm like, you just got to get used to driving an uncomfortable car on these natural like surfaces. Because Hoosier, you're just strapped up the whole time and you have grip
surface,
no matter what. Yeah. So I'm like, it's just he only gets to race on 2 natural dirt surfaces a year, like pretty much. So the more I think that he gets out of his like comfort zone, the more likely we'll see him up on top. I'm like, he can drive. Like obviously at Hoosier, he puts on a clinic every year that we go there. So it's just a matter of him getting more experience. He's only been racing for 4 years, where most of these guys have been doing it for 8 or 10 years at this point. So he's a new addition to like the HobbyWing spec team.
On that surface too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So much different. So I was talking to them guys, the tire wear, it wasn't about tire wear, it was about the sauce.
Yeah.
Kind of ballooning the tires to an extent.
Burning in the tires, sanding the tires, cutting the foams, poking holes, all that stuff that they don't really have to do at Hoosier, you have to do here in order to make the tire have grip.
How much tires were you guys getting through there in your pit?
We did a set per day.
Okay. All right. And that was just, could you have gone farther on a set, or you just
for sure, but it was just the newer tires are always like faster.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right, let's have a look at 4-wheel drive, which was kind of like the same thing where Dominic took Q1, and then I'm pretty sure it was the other Levi brother, who I should know this.
Oh, it was Chase, I think.
So it was Chase. Let's go. I have it right here. Chase took. So Levi took overall in 4-wheel drive. He took a second. I didn't have everything here. Shucks. I'm looking for all the results here. Sometimes.
I'm finding the
Oh, here we go. So it was in 13.5 Expert. We have Dominic, who took the overall. He had a 0 round 1, a 2, and a 7. Levi had a 3, a 0 round 2, so he beat Dominic. And Kyle Go is the other guy with a 0 in this in round 3, which was shocking because he was kind of nowhere. Kyle was kind of hanging around in 5th all weekend, and then he got a win there. But he kind of that was this glimmer of brilliance the entire weekend, pretty much.
It was mayhem that last qualifier. Levi was out front, and he had a lap car come out and just jump into like the lane. So after like the triple, if you guys watched, it was really easy to jump in the outfield of like the triple because you're just driving strapped up to it, and like the lap car came out and just jumped in like the middle of like the lane, and it was kind of hurting, but you can't really like do much about that.
That's so busy. So such small lanes, 8-foot lanes, right? And once you jump into the outfield with that big tall pipe, you have to wait for a turn marshal, unless you got a lucky hop or get one of those ramps,
In four-wheel, it was easy to jump over, but in two-wheel, you were just stuck.
Oh yeah, I watched many a car jump into that infield coming off the triple because you try to cut it so tight. You want to have it right over that pipe to land perfectly on the down grain of that double, and you just get it wrong and send it, and you just land in the middle of nowhere. All right. So overall, like I said, Dominic, Levi, Kyle Go was in third, Chase Raymond, Nate Sutherland in fifth, Sammy Moran, Emerson Surgeon, and Aaron Mitchell was your final person to bump right up.
Mm-hmm.
I think Michael Lesko bumped up.
Yep.
There was some good bumper upper things going on in there. I think it was, yeah. So overall was Sammy Moran, Michael Lesko bumped up, and Craig Schlegel, I think. Yeah, he was ninth. So
yeah. Fucking
two local guys. Those are local guys, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
I like Michael Lesko. That name's pretty cool to say.
Yeah.
It sounds like a motocross name to me.
I'm like, that kid's always been cool. He doesn't get to race as much now. I think he's like focusing on some real life stuff, which is probably smart. RC racing will not always pay like the bills. No. So it's good to it's good to have a plan.
Very good to have a plan. RC car racing will always be there, whether you do it for a living or not.
Exactly.
So Levi goes into goes into starting second. He takes A1.
Yep.
So Levi has the blue and white paint job, right?
Mm-hmm. It's similar to my scheme with splatter in the back.
Okay. So that was four-wheel drive I was looking at. We're going to go back to two-wheel drive. I'm going to bring two-wheel drive up here on the start so you can watch a little bit of it. And he got a feel. So this is 17.5 Expert two-wheel drive buggy, the start. So there is the start up and through the corkscrew. There is Dominic and there is Levi right behind him. We need to get Chase and his colors and Dominic's colors are too close. It was very confusing.
I know. Yeah, it was hard. So Charlie Schwenka is up in the corner taking some videos, and he posted one of them with like Dominic's car, and if you zoomed in, you could just see the big R1 like logo on the side.
Oh, don't worry. I had Nate going to driving an X-ray first day of the race. So, I was all excited to get that reel up, and I was wrong. But we saw Levi make a mistake, and that allows Chase into second, and he kind of just applies pressure to Dominic, who just makes a mistake. I would say.
Yeah, I'm like that kid. Club racing, like with him at home, is so good at applying pressure and handling it. I would say anytime he's behind me, I'm definitely a little worried. Not because he's going to take me out, but he's so good at just tapping like the wing a bit. Funny story about Chase's two-wheel here is he's running the wrong pills. Like he's running more anti-squat on one side than the other side of the car. I'll find the picture and I'll send it to you. But their dad was going through his car like afterwards, and he's like, "Should I leave it?" And I'm like, "No, we gotta fix it."
He's probably, wow, this car handles so much better now that it's right.
Well, he's been notorious for driving cars that have some sort of issues,
and
that's when he wins. So we're just gonna,
he's gonna leave it.
We're gonna fix it, but if it's not as good, we're definitely gonna put it back.
He is hounding down Dominic right now, but he clips that pipe.
Yeah.
Now there you can see, right? That triple, if you can do it every lap, you're very good. I think that's Kyle Go right behind.
Yeah.
Kyle Go was getting up in the mix, but he would just make a mistake.
I'm like, Tater and him changed some tire prep stuff, and they were in like the game.
Interesting. I'm waiting for Dominic to make his mistake. I can't remember what.
So, Sammy had crashed, and the marshal went to go get Sammy and didn't see Dominic's car, and I think kind of kicked like Dominic's car, and then it's coming up here soon, like when they start like lapping people. Yeah, and then Dominic crashed a couple times after that.
You would think I would remember all this stuff, but it goes by so fast.
Yeah, no, and how like fast paced like these guys are going, and how fast like the day like kind of went. It's kind of hard to like remember what went on like the whole time. Yeah,
it's all a blur. Well, Kyle goes on it. He is right behind.
Yeah, no, he's on it.
He's right behind him, pushing. But yeah, that was what they kind of had to do, like push you to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And Chase is kind of going into a defensive posture. I know what I'm saying right now because that's exactly what I'm commentating in my mind right now. And Dominic, that allows Dominic to just pull away ever so
Yeah.
slightly.
It's definitely easier to chase on that track, I would say, than lead with how small it is, and like if you're not going as fast as the guy in second, it's kind of rough.
Got you. All right. Well, we're gonna leave that there for now. We're gonna get back to her so people can see a little shakedown of what the track looked like.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being. Let me bring it up here. It ended up being in the 17.5 class. Chase would take A1 and A2 and wrap it up and kind of make it boring. Dominic took second and fourth, and he'll take an A1 win and finish second.
Yep.
Levi Raymond third. Nate Sutherland with a 4, a 3, and a 3. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting more out of Nate this weekend. He seems to be kind of not struggling, but getting used to his new ride. I know he was on TLR for quite a long time. Kyle Go in fifth, Craig Schlegel, Aaron Mitchell, Talon Henley, Sammy Moran, and Noah Ward round off your top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was your two-wheel drive 17.5. That was my thoughts on that. Do you have anything to say before we move on to four-wheel drive?
Congrats to Noah Ward. I believe that's his first big A main, and
Really?
that was cool to see. So yeah, his car looked awesome. He put in a couple stellar runs and definitely showed that he's coming into like the mix.
That's great. That's great. That's awesome. That's how it should be. Yeah, inspiring these young drivers to make their way through spec. All right. So in 13.5 expert four-wheel drive, this did go down to an A3. As we said, Dominic actually started on pole once again, followed by Levi, Kyle Go, Chase Raymond, and Nate were your top 5. And this was a little bit more exciting, as we said. I think even in one of these races, was it A3 or was it A2 where the brothers were racing each other, and then Levi in the blue and white car or black and white car got behind some traffic and then kind of got wide, and then his brother went through and took the win and took the ball.
So that was in two-wheel, yeah. So
that was two-wheel drive.
So Talon, I think, was trying to let like Levi by, and definitely kind of messed him up. Talon felt really bad. Like after, he pushed him completely wide, and Chase just went. I know Talon felt really bad, and I was talking to Levi about it. He's like, if it wasn't Chase that won, I probably would have been really bad, but it was okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought that was in four-wheel drive.
No, all good.
It's all good. Chase. No, this is two-wheel drive. I'm all messed up. Give me a second. I got all types of screens open here.
The green car is fast in two-wheel.
The blue car is fast in blue wheel. That's the best way to think about it, Like I said, so Dominic takes the overall TQ. He starts on pole. And then let's have a look at the triple A mains. Levi takes A1. Dominic finishes third.
Mm-hmm.
A2 would be Dominic, so that makes it go to that next race, and then they have to settle it up where Levi goes first and Dominic goes second. Yep. So exciting racing at the end.
I'm like, it was close racing. In A2, Levi had it, and I either think he made a bobble or Dominic like passed him. Either way, like Dominic won, but it was a really like good race like the whole time.
Do you think there's more pressure on the one twin when the other one wins already? Like, so
no.
Chase I know two-wheel drive, so Levi's like, I gotta win something.
I know one of them is always like when we club race, there's usually only 3 of us like running modified. So whoever gets third pretty much got last, even though it's top 3. They see it as like I got last, and what's nice is Chris made he gave each one they're able to race each other, so they're always able to push each other. Yeah, exactly.
They won this weekend. That was good to see. 2 brothers, two twins. They're 1 and 2, 1 and 2-wheel drive, 1 and 4-wheel drive. They made it exciting. Dominic made it exciting.
Yeah,
I think those 3 were the stars of the entire weekend.
Yeah,
everybody else just had glimmers of brilliance, which the guys I expected big things from, like Sutherland, Kyle Go. They just kind of didn't live up to the hype I was expecting, and that's not saying that they won't. Just wasn't their weekend. It was the Raymond brothers and Paccione's weekend.
Yeah, it's always hard, like especially in Nate shoes, to change car and tires at the same time, and then expect to be like swinging out of like the gate. I think in a couple more events, like he'll be more back like to normal. When he learns some more tire prep stuff for like the JC tires, and then gets his car a little more like comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no doubt that he will. I have no doubt that he will.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to the mod class, which was boasting 3 heats of mod, which was very impressive. We had quite a big turnout. We also had 3 heats of short course truck, by the way, which was impressive. So lots of mod cars up, or the most mod cars I've seen at a race, I would say.
In a long time.
He was racing in this class, or attempting to race.
I was participating.
There we go. You had glimmers of brilliance.
Practice, we were going fast, and seeding, I did outseed half of the HobbyWing team.
Oh my goodness!
And then reality hit as soon as the tone hit off for Q1.
Q1 started 2-wheel drive, and Chase Lemieux came out and just laid the smackdown.
Yeah, like son of Paul. He's a guy,
dude. I was like, I watched them all in practice, and then I was like, this, and I know this is home track. I know he had laps on there. I know he designed the track. And I was just like, there's nobody going to beat this guy. Yeah, nobody's going to beat him.
He was dialed
right off the bat, and he practiced a lot. Like that open practice day, he was up and on that driver's stand a lot the entire day.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what it takes at these events. Like pretty much is getting in a bunch of track time, getting a feel for what your car is going to do, and especially for them, like the hot race tires, they're trying to figure out. I think they had like 20 different compounds like over there that they were just trying different tires, and they nailed one, and they seem to be like pretty good. Chase puts in like a lot of like effort, so it was great to see.
He did, but you know what? His hot race teammate Aiden came out swinging in Q2 and Q3, and he looked unstoppable. I would say. Yeah, I kind of lost all interest in Chase after watching Aiden and those 2 qualifiers, and they were excited. I think didn't one of the qualifiers come on to.
He crashed like the first lap and came back swinging at the very end to take the TQ. Like the lap times that Aiden was putting down were crazy fast. He was doing 12.8s like he was just going around the track. So
whatever. I think Q2 of 2-wheel drive where he finished at the line.
Yeah,
I won it by like just across the line.
Yeah,
it was exciting, man. It was an electric atmosphere up there. Like people were watching all that racing and they were banging on the side of the walls when people do good. That was awesome. Yeah, that was really awesome.
I'm sure you could find the video of Aiden, getting pretty excited on the driver's stand after he TQ'd the second round.
It was good. It was good. Yeah. In the end, it was Aiden Horne who had he took the wins in Q2 and Q3. Chase Lemieux will go 0-2. Rivkin 3-4-3. Rivkin kind of silent there in 2-wheel drive. Tom Ridderneck on the new Schumacher. Brennan Schimmel in the new X-Ray. Sontag in the X-Ray as well. Brock Champlin in 7th, not having a very good 2-wheel drive. 2-wheel drive. Qualifying Davey Bada, Cole Tollard, and Mason Newbert, who is another new guy, local guy, I would assume.
No, I'm like he's been racing for a long time, but he only does two races a year. Okay. So and then they're both at trackside.
Okay, so he's from that area then?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you in 11th, BQ. Yep. Couldn't get that bump up. There were those hopes and dreams of being the number 1 HobbyWing driver at this race. Couldn't get.
It was all bad.
Couldn't get the bump up, but that's fine because I think who did get the bump up? It was Chase Lemieux, was it not? No, it was
in 4-wheel.
He got it in 4-wheel drive. Who got it in 2-wheel drive? Was it not?
It was Alex Vanderbeek.
Alex Vanderbeek, another local, a family, because I think it's his dad, him, the middle son, and then
they're from the Omaha area.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sweet. All right. So in 4-wheel drive, we saw. Let me bring this up. 4-wheel drive mod. It was Spencer Rivkin who. So here's where Rivkin came out. Okay, Q1. Let's go with Q1. Brock Champlin takes that, right? Brock was fast in practice. It was Brock and Aiden looked fast, and Spencer was kind of on the back foot, in my opinion. Once again, he came out swinging though in Q2. He took Q2 and Q3, and I thought Spencer was going to be unbeatable in four-wheel drive.
Yeah, his stuff looked good. He made a couple changes and looked pretty dialed. And then in the mains, just watching Brock and Aiden. Aiden figured something out because he was fast.
I mean, but that's what happened to Rivkin, right? We'll get into the mains, but that was his fastest point. No, he had 3 fast races. Yeah, Q2, Q3, and A1 of four-wheel drive. That was his best 3 races because he won all 3.
Yeah.
Right. And that wasn't enough because he needed to do better in four-wheel drive. Brock Champlin, Aiden Horne, Cole Tollard, who I shouldn't be surprised because this is the same track, but on that new Schumacher ride, Brennan Schimmel, Doug Leverrier, Tater Sontag, Davey Bada, Tom Rennick, and Mason Newbert. And then Chase Lemieux was on the outside looking in, which I was surprised to see him in four-wheel drive in the B final.
Yeah, I guess they only had a couple sets of those tires that they were using in two-wheel. So they were rationing them for two-wheel and just kind of figuring it out in four-wheel. I believe the painted body was the difference for Chase. You can't be out there with the white body. You got to have the painted body, and you make the mains.
He did not have a painted body.
Exactly.
Neither did Brennan Schimmel.
Shady's got a whole lot of problems going on, but other than being Shady,
Ohio, he told me.
Yeah, the best was when he showed up to Clash of Champions with those bodies, and he ran out of paint for half of them, so you could see clearly like through the body.
He's getting 12 scale, lightweight.
Yeah, exactly.
Lightweight. All right, so we're all set here for these A finals in two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive mod. Spencer Rivkin's looking really rapid. Obviously, Aiden Horne's looking untouchable. But still, as we go into this, I'm like thinking Chase Lemieux is going to be the biggest thorn in Aiden's side. And I believe he was, because if you go look at the results from the two-wheel drive A main results, you see that Aiden Horne actually took second in A1 with Chase Lemieux. And I was like, okay, how is Aiden going to respond to this? Because he responded well in qualifying, but now it's racing. Is he going to respond in A2? And respond he did. He did. He responded.
Yeah. No, like in A1, Chase kind of walked away. They had a little bit of a battle, and Chase, I wouldn't say walked away, but Aiden had a couple bobbles, and Chase was able to capitalize on them. And I feel bad for Chase. He's won A1 and Mod 2 at that track so many times.
Really?
Yeah, and he's came so close to being the Mod 2 wheel guy. So,
well, he got off to a good start.
Yeah.
But once again, Aiden was just able to look more comfortable in A2.
Yeah.
Aiden was able to do things over that big jump, that double jump that other guys aren't. He was able to make passes there. Now, he says that happened to him against Brock, but I wasn't able to see that. But he looked very comfortable. Chase Lemieux kind of just never lived up to it. He got a 4th in A2, a 2nd in A3. Spencer Rivkin, who I said was not doing well, but had a quiet two-wheel drive, finished his 3rd with a 4, 2, and an 8. Tom Rennick is in 4th, which is a good result for Tom, even though I know he wants to be in the podium.
Yeah.
And Brock Champlin, Soso in 5th, Davey Bada, Mason Newbert, Cole Tollard, Brennan Schimmel, Alex Van Der Beek, and Sontag. Dude, Sontag, he cannot catch a break. He cannot catch a break. World's press in full effect for that man.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so
his stuff always looks good in practice. That's a crazy thing, and he's usually setting the pace in practice. It's just luck,
dude. It's hard out there. I mean, to be fair, the only person really missing that would have been of any real contention in this race was Fend.
Yeah,
in America. Okay, maybe a Cavallari, maybe. I don't even think Mayfield. I think Mayfield would have struggled to make the finals at these type of races. He hasn't raced 10 scale in so long.
I'm like, what's crazy is he ran a decent amount. Like last year, he ran it. He got a Mugen car and ran it a couple times, and he said it was pretty dialed. And he was excited to come race. And then I just think like the 8 scale stuff is more.
So much time.
Yeah, it takes up so much more time.
It takes up a lot of time. So Aiden gets that win. We have an emotional, a very emotional podium from Aiden. I didn't expect this when I went up to interview him, but I think we should play it because it shows how much pressure you guys are under to win, especially somebody like him who that's his job, is to win. He's a racer, so he's here to win, not just to. Now you work in the industry, right?
Yeah.
So your results don't really matter. My results would never matter because I suck, right? But we have to get results in some form of way. You have to get results with your motors. I have to get results with information and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But these guys have to get results on the track when they're dealing with many other racers, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
So, when he goes through this type of stuff, I'm gonna play a video. I'm gonna skip through it because it's pretty long, and but he talks about his emotions. He did break down. I think this is the video where he talks about it. Give me a second. Let me add it to stage.
It's not going to mean that you automatically win.
And then that means you don't make any money.
You got to go out and earn it every time.
Yeah. Imagine that. Like everybody's job is performance based to an extent, but imagine everything that you do is performance based. And I think that's what people have to understand, especially on a new tire, all that type of stuff. I know how the hate and doubt goes. I've had it thrown at me many times, but you got to stick to your plan. And that's kind of what I got. I haven't heard. We should put it up and let's have an interview. If you want to get emotional on this one, you can get your Kleenex ready. But I get it. I get it 100%. Let's have a look at your emotional response to your win in two-wheel drive. It was awesome, man. It's great to see. Don't be ashamed. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it. Let's get it playing here. So this is the final of A3 of two-wheel drive modified buggy, in which you took the win. Oh, let me get the volume going on her. There you are. I was like, yeah, he's super relieved.
I'm just making sure the ceiling was up to spec in the building.
I wish you RC drivers would stop hitting the railing. Do you realize that your hands are what makes your money? All you guys, I'm like, what?
I mean, I could have thrown my radio off the driver's seat. I was so pumped.
Long time. Wave of confidence from your A2 win to take an overall victory. I can see the emotions in your eyes. Congratulations.
Thanks. It's been a really long time since I won anything, and you get to a point where you question if it's ever going to happen again. And man, I know it's just an INS, but this means a lot, man.
Awesome, man. Awesome. We can see the emotions. Great racing. You had a little battle there with Chase Lemieux near at the end. You was unflappable. You held on to the pressure. Lots of pressure on you, but lots of pressure on Chase.
Yeah, it's been an awesome fight with him all week. He's brought the best out of me. It just feels so good to finally win again. I almost forgot what it felt like, and to do it with the hot race tires and prove, that they got what it takes to win is it just makes it that much more special. Nicola and I have been working our tails off for the past few months, and a lot of sleepless nights, and oh man, it paid off there. So it's awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations. I see your emotional. Go over and see your dad. Congratulations. You take the win here at INS, and you are leading points going into next round.
Awesome. Thanks.
Awesome, dude. Great.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It's I mean, honestly, I still back what I said there. I definitely was getting to a point where I wasn't sure if I would ever win a race again.
If you guys want to watch that full interview with Aiden Horne, you can. He talks about that and much more. But yes, lots of emotion for Aiden after winning this race. I didn't know what to do as an interviewer up there. I felt the emotions coming from him, and I want people to understand like that these guys really want to win.
Yeah,
and we talk more about this and the sacrifice that goes into getting these type of wins.
This shit's hard. When I was trying to be like the guy for that year and a half or so, I went days where I didn't eat because it was either I got gas and went to the track, got tires, got parts, or whatever I needed to be successful. And it's a lot on you mentally, physically. This is a not physical sport, but it's a lot of stress and pressure you put on yourself to perform even now. So with the motors and stuff, like if shit's not working right, or if the drivers are not complaining but not happy, like I feel like shit, like I let the driver down, or even though I'm not the one designing it, I'm the one in the field trying to make sure everything's good. And I feel for these guys, man. It's hard when you're out there, busting ass, and especially in Aiden's shoes, with so much talent and so much effort being put into it, where sometimes the results just don't show how much effort you put in. It was pretty much like the Nationals at Beach. Aiden for sure could have swept all 3 classes after seeding and qualifying day. Shit happens, man, and you make bobbles, and for sure Aiden's been putting in work, and these hot race tires seem to be like working out pretty good for him, and I think it's nice for him to have a company that is listening to what he needs or wants, and it's awesome to see these guys who put in all this effort, time behind the scenes that not a lot of people see, take the win like that.
Yeah, I was super happy for Aiden. Super happy for him. It was a great moment. One of the great moments that we had at this race, which was epic. I have to bring up one too. It's gonna be our last moment with my good friend Kyle, the gingerbread man.
The guy.
He is the guy. My assistant. But yeah, awesome win for Aiden. Great to see those emotions. And I felt like kind of Ricky Bobby up there for a second. Like, what do I do with my hand? With my hand. And but it was good. But that was just some of the emotions, because we had a lot more racing to go. And up next was 4-wheel drive, which was controversial in itself in A2, which we might as well get right into it. Look, overall, Brock takes the win. I've talked to both Brock and Aiden about this incident. If you guys can see, it happened in A2. It was a jump pass that Aiden put on the last lap of Brock. And I think it was fair. Let's listen to what Aiden has to say. I was like, this dude's going to overtake Brock, like right here. Absolutely going to do it. And here it comes. There it is. There you are. If we use this line right here. All right, we're here. We're looking at the cars right now.
Yeah.
There's Aiden in the orange. There's Brock right here in the blue and yellow. What's your honest thoughts on this? I'm sure you've watched this over and over and over again.
It's definitely, for sure, from the outside, I look at it, it's like, and with Brock being one of our guys, it's like, oh boy, he got passed. But like stuff like that's cool. It makes it interesting for people at home to watch. It definitely looked a little sketchy, but people were doing it all weekend long. And if these guys don't want lines like this done, the jump shouldn't be built like this. But these jumps make for exciting like racing. Aiden was doing it in 2-wheel to Chase. Chase was doing it back to Aiden in 2-wheel. I think Brock did it a couple times to people. So last lap, prison rules, like no mercy. It should happen.
Prison rules. Let's hear what Aiden has to say. I'll finish this up. And then we'll bring in Brock West to say, because at first, when I first saw it, I was like, ooh, that looks close. But Lance looked at it. He was good with it. And I was good with it at the end. When I saw this, because I was like, yeah, Aiden kind of had the inside line. He was setting Brock up for that. Brock was trying to defend it. I think he knew it was coming. But let's listen to what Aiden has to say. Post right here. Mm-hmm. You are about a front wheel ahead of Brock in the air right now. Epic pass. Epic freaking pass, dude.
Well,
what are you thinking right now? I mean, are you thinking like
in A1, Brock actually did that to me twice. He made the pass stick on me twice in A1, a 4-wheel on that exact same jump. So I was just like, that's honestly what kind of opened my eyes to like, oh, this is a really good pass spot, because Brock kind of schooled me on that jump twice in a row. Basically just did the same thing the previous race. And then I mean, if you go back to like,
let's see if I can go back a little bit
in between the triple and the double, like when we're on the ground.
Here we go. I don't have the ability to slow it down, unfortunately.
Yeah, so if you pause right there, the pass is already made, in my opinion, right there. It's made before we even take off. And if you slow it down before the cars even leave the ground, in my opinion, the pass is complete. And it's Brock kind of still going for the jump is basically him just saying like, this is the last lap, I have to try. But it
could have went wrong for either of you, to be fair. That's right. It could have went wrong for either of them. But, Aiden had that inside line. And really, Brock couldn't Brock had to hit that line perfectly and be right on the inside to make that.
Yeah, I didn't even block it because Aiden could have landed on Brock. Brock could have landed on Aiden. Brock did it twice to Aiden in A1, like how Aiden was talking about. So yeah, I'm like, once you open up that wormhole, it's open for everybody else.
It was definitely exciting.
Yeah.
I know people ask me, to film the driver's stand. I always film the driver's stand after anything like this because I want to see if there's going to be some words. There was no words.
No.
They kind of, I think Brock kind of knew, hey, I would have done this myself.
Yeah.
And Aiden was like, when I went to Aiden, I was like, that was close. And it's like, you don't think it was clean? I was like, yeah, it looked clean. But there was no words after that. And to be fair, Brock has something to say about it. Let's see if this is the video where Brock talks about it. No, there's nothing to understand. I agree with you there.
I said nothing walking back to the pits. And first thing I did was text Jason Rona because he was standing on the left side of the driver's stand and had the perfect camera shot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he slowed it down, screenshotted it to walk you back through it.
Yeah, let's get up there.
Yeah, so basically I come here, I jump this, and I land super far outside. I was nervous. I go back, the door's wide open. What is he supposed to do? What's the Art and Senna quote? Like, as soon as a race driver never goes for a gap, you're no longer a race car driver. So that's kind of the way I think. I even said to you in the interview, I left the door open, but I think the problem that I would have with the situation is I wouldn't have crashed. I wouldn't have, when I get hit here, I lose time. Then I'm losing the tiebreaker because of it. That was the problem that I had with it. Wasn't actually the fact that I got passed. It was
that you crashed.
When the car flips and then I lose a second and a half. Now in the last main, the tiebreaker, if it comes down to a tenth or two, again, because we're nose to tail, we're the same speed. Basically, it's a tiebreaker that had me frustrated.
So you heard Brock. He said that he had to go for it, right? He had no choice but to go for it. And he said his big issue was him crashing, right? And losing that tiebreaker. But it was really nothing he could do about it. And in the end, he still won it because in A3, Brock just kind of put on a clinic.
Yeah.
Aiden made some mistakes. He wasn't able to come back. And, Brock, he needed to win, basically, in order to take the overall win in that. So what are your thoughts after hearing both Aiden and both Brock talk about that incident?
Yeah, I get it. I'm like, in their shoes, racing out hard, shit happens.
Yep.
And it sucks because it's like, at the end of the day, we all have to see each other again. And it's nothing personal. It's just everyone's racing for the same, not for the same dollar amount, but everyone's racing for the same thing. And those top three. And it's their job. It's their job to make it exciting, and they did it. So,
kudos to them.
Yeah,
kudos to them. Exciting first round there at Trackside. I was very excited to be up there. I was very excited to be a part of it, and a great season opener for the point series. Good second race in Tennessee, with another race coming up very soon here as for this Desert Classic. You'll be at, I assume.
Yep, I will. We got to talk about Kyle.
Oh, you know what? We almost forgot about the man, the myth, the legend, the gingerbread man.
The loudest the building was. You can't hear it in the video, but the building was loud.
We can't forget about the other heart-filled moment that we had with Kyle Kosek, the gingerbread man, who was my assistant. He's one of the local kids here. His dad works there as well. Him and Larry made sure I was good, as well as another kid named Renan. He was buying me snacks and all that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's the kid who looks like the. Have you seen that? It's that skit of this kid selling beer to people on the side of the street. Yeah, he looks exactly like that kid.
But Kyle sat. If you guys heard me talking to Kyle throughout the broadcast, he sat next to me. He was helping me point out cars and let me know who was who, and he was telling me. Kyle can wheel, dude. He went up there and he did good in 4-wheel drive. I think he started second. Mm-hmm. But what we're about to watch now is his 2-wheel drive independent class, which he which was exciting. Like it was one of the most exciting races of the whole weekend. And people went berserk for this.
Yeah.
At the end when Kyle beat Adrian Stillwell, but we're going to play it and have a look at it.
Yeah.
So we got 35 seconds left to go. So Adrian is that yellow and orange car. He's from in Indiana and Hoosier Hobby Clax. And right behind is the gingerbread man, Kyle.
For whatever reason, Adrian, the last 2 laps of the race, decided to stop like tripling it. And Kyle, being the gingerbread man, he's hitting that line better than I was.
He was hitting it each time. He has a look. He's like, I'm going to get you. So this is their last lap. Oh, man. Hold on. Let me pause it. I got to put on the volume. Fast he goes. Wide. The other shoots. He's going to go for that. Oh, no. Oh, I missed it. Oh, God, I'm going to take it. The gingerbread man. I'm going to take it on the last lap. Well done, Tom. Dude,
you can't hear how loud it is in there, but it was really fucking loud.
In there, dude. It was crazy. And there people were going insane. You had me on the mic. Because what happens, right? Lance sees things first before me. He sees them about a second before me.
Yeah.
In the camera. And I saw it afterwards. So I hear him get excited, then I get excited.
Yeah. No, he was the man. And then here's the interview.
All right, I'm here with the gingerbread man who took a very exciting win at the end. Kyle, you got a second and 4-wheel drive and a win and 2-wheel drive. How you feel?
Happy.
Yeah. How was you nervous there at the end?
A little bit.
I didn't see it in your racing. You was very calm. You made a pass on Adrian, had a good race with him. That was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Good job, gingerbread man.
Yes, that's what I am.
As fast as fast can be. They'll never catch you, right?
Yeah.
All right, good job.
He's like Ricky Bobby when he's getting interviewed for like the first time. He's like, "Yeah, that car was good. Car was good."
Oh my gosh, Kyle!
It was awesome. Yeah,
one of my treats to meet there at this race. He was an awesome young man. He's don't take that kid can wheel. He was fast.
Yeah, no, he's good. I watched him like last year. He ran expert stock, and he was in the C main in 2-wheel and the B main in 4-wheel. So the kid can wheel. Like he's pretty fast. So I'm like, hopefully we see more of him around at the INS series because he's always good to have around. He's funny, like for sure. Like he went up I think after every run, he would ask Spencer if he washed his car or anything like that. And
yeah, Kyle knows everybody. Everybody knows Kyle. Awesome young man. One of the great reasons I really like TrackSide and the community that they've kind of grown up. So well done to everybody up there. Everybody. Great event. Was fun. Had a lot of fun there. Big shout out to Lance MacDonald and Danny Paz for all their hard work as well. They got that. Lance ran a very fast pace race, got people out there on time. Danny Paz was uber busy doing a whole bunch of stuff. And I had a blast up there meeting people. And shout out to all the staff as well. They worked their butts off up there. And it was a good event. I think it was a great opening INS event, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. All right. So we have our first racing event. The next event is on carpet at RC1 in Michigan. I don't think I'll be there. Will you be going to that?
I will be there. Me and Charlie Schwenka will be there doing HobbyWing stuff. So,
have you been there before?
Yep, I was there last year. I watched the whole Aiden and Brock thing last year happen. It was definitely rough, but
it's a new year.
Yeah, it's a new year. New year, new carpet. Mike and the gang over there do a great job of presenting, and the place is clean, well-stocked shop, super clean like facility. So it should be an exciting second round.
I mean, it's hard not to put Brock up as one of the favorites to win this.
Yeah.
In both classes. Who else is some of your top picks to shake things up? I don't think Dakota will be going.
So Rinderneck, he's been super fast on carpet. Chase, like Lemieux, won like last year. It was the beneficiary of the incident like last year.
Okay.
So I definitely think seeing Brock, Chase, and Aiden and Tom, because that's Aiden's like home track, will be pretty fast there. That's also like Tater, like Sontag's like home track. So it'll be interesting to see. Like last year, Kyle Go took the TQ, and Jeff Stack took the win against Stock Buggy.
But he's going to run mod. I think Stack's
Yeah.
going to run mod.
Yep.
Him and Doug up and running mod.
Yep.
In this spec class, what about Nate Sutherland? He's very good on cars.
Yeah. Nate, especially with those like Schumacher cars, should be a threat. Like for sure. The Dyad aren't going, I know, but we'll have Dustin Fox there. Fox is like pretty quick on carpet. Yeah.
Okay.
And then same with Aaron, like Mitchell. Aaron came out swinging like last year at the Island round. That's his home track, and TQ'd one of the rounds, I think. He's super fast, so it'll be good to see who comes out on top in like Stock Buggy. You can't forget Brady like Herrico. He was one of the guys in truck like this weekend that was super fast. He's super fast on carpet. He TQ'd around to the carpet nats like last year.
Okay.
So with RC1 being his home track, he should be pretty dialed.
Yeah, awesome. I like that it's switched up. We go to more dirt tracks than carpet tracks, but it does switch it up pretty good. A big, from that slick tire racing to now having pins and a lot faster. So it should be very interesting. Before I go any further, I want to get your thoughts on this because I did talk. Brock touched on this, and it was a good conversation. And we are going to a carpet race, and after the incidents we saw at dawn between Mikkel and Rana Falk and other racers, the big thing is now. JQ said it. Max has said it a few times, and we've got other people saying it that they think that the cars are too fast now for these drivers. As a motor guy in this, what do you think we should be doing? Are these cars now too fast on carpet where we're seeing people just not able to react in time?
They definitely are. Like we're literally running 4.5s and 5 turns in 2-wheel. In 4-wheel drive, we run the same. So shit's going to be fast. It's tough for sure to see the racing these days because someone could be running more power than you. They could have less power. So it's just a battle for sure of what is kind of going on. I've ran less motor before for sure and gone faster, but if you can handle it, it's better. But the racing becomes harder to navigate around like everybody.
Do you think we should go to a spec turn? No? So you're not in favor of that?
Nah, it's just, I don't think the industry would accept that well. It's kind of like how some of these guys have talked about making stock 21.5. Like look how well like On-Road's doing with going slower. 21.5 TC and 25.5 like TC. Those seem to be the stock classes now in On-Road. And the On-Road scene at the Stopers like this year had 91 like entries, and the Oval had double that. So it's definitely making stuff slower makes better racing, but is the industry really ready like for that?
Okay.
As a whole.
All right. Well, that's good thoughts. It's good to get everybody's opinion on them. Also, if you go to a fixed turn, that opens up the door for cheating, which I love.
Yeah, no, it definitely opens up the door for a lot. Sooner or later, when are we going to start running four pole like motors?
Okay. So what is the solution then? How do we slow people down? How are we going to slow them down and not have people getting taken out because they don't have? How do we govern this at all? Or do we govern it? Or we just let it? Is it a part of racing now?
It's a part of racing. Like I watched all the Rana Falk and like Orlowski thing, and it definitely, and like the Carup stuff, and Orlowski like in JQ's like video showed that he went wide on that one, and the Rana Falk had like the inside, and it's definitely hard too on carpet. When you try to shut like the door or something like that, the cars are reacting so fast, and it's just kind of carpet racing. With these guys, got to remember too, with more grip, the racing isn't as good. Like at trackside, the grip isn't super high, but it's high enough to have like good racing, and it's fun for everybody. But on carpet, the racing isn't as awesome, I would say.
That's because you're not a carpet fan. That's all. You're not a carpet fan.
Yeah.
Are you gonna race or just do motor?
I'll be there doing.
Not even gonna race. Not even gonna race. An interesting fact. Remember we talked. If they used the IFMAR tiebreak, Horne would have won 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm. So, the Roar rules stated, I believe, that they're changing the tiebreaker rule. It was talked about, I'm not sure if it completely went into effect, but supposedly February 12th, from what one of the guys in the pit said, the tiebreaker changes. Don't quote me on that. I'm not completely sure, but I believe that the rule might be in effect, might not be. It was on one of the Roar posts. I tried looking up like the rule book while we were sitting here, and I wasn't able to exactly read. It's on page like 86 of like the Roar rule book. I can't remember which line it was, but the tiebreaker stuff, I believe, was subject to change at some point.
Interesting stuff going on with Raw, and a lot of stuff. I see a lot of people complaining about the hike in race fees and all that stuff, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm like, what these guys don't understand is Europe does the same stuff.
It should go up. It should go up more, and it goes to the track, which is we'll get more tracks bidding on these races. But that's a rant for another time. We're talking about INS 15. It was a good opening round. It was good to see you there as well. Good to meet the Raymond brothers as well. Their father, great family. They're very nice. Very fast, very talented young men, and all the awesome people that I met at Trackside that came up and said hello. Thank you all. We appreciate the support. We can't do without you guys. We hope you guys enjoy this recap. We do have 2 other interviews, maybe even a third one that will branch off of this. We have a whole interview with Aiden Horne, a whole interview with Brock Champlin. Brock says some interesting things as well. You guys might want to tune into. And we thank you all for all the support. Thank you to JConcepts, Amy and Hobbies, HobbyWing, Schumacher, Exalt, Associated, Reedy, and of course the Elite RC Productions crew for all their hard work. And thank you, Matty G and HobbyWing, for all your support and all your time coming on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, I won't see you at the next one, but I'll see you at one. I'll probably see you at Omaha. That's one I'm scheduled to go to.
Yeah, it's hot. It is moist. So, like the mod guys up there, bring water. Have a whole case of water up there. It's hot.
Yeah. If anybody wanted to know what's up next, of course, we have the round 2 at the Spring Carpet Indoor Nationals, which is May 2nd to 4th at RC1 in Macomb Township, Michigan. We have the Midsummer Island Raceway, which is in Muscatine, Iowa, June 6th to 8th. That's round 3. Round 3, Late Summer Dirt Nationals will be at Hobbytown Hobbyplex in Omaha. The first and third, and then round 5, which will be the finals, will be October 17th to 19th at Hoosier RC Hobbyplex in New Albany, Indiana. So put those on your list. They are capped, so you have to get in. 3 races count, 2 drop, and there will be a winner, a points winner at the end of each class. I am left and right, and to my virtual left is Matty Gonzalez, tech, HobbyWing, spec, motor guy extraordinaire, and co-host of this week's race recap. We guys will talk to you later. We hope you enjoyed everything.
See ya.
See you all later.